Hello there guys! For today's video, I'm going to show you how to add a realistic fire in Photoshop. Also, we will dive deeper into making selection with the use of a select subject, Polygonal Lasso tool, applying exposure, applying levels, changing of blending modes, and applying Gaussian blur. So let's get started! So here in our document, I prepare here an image of this woman holding a globe in his hand, and our goal here is to put the fire effect on the globe itself. And not only that, I also prepare here two images that we will be using for the fire effect. So the first step we're going to do here is we're going to create a duplicate layer of our background layer. So to do that, going on to the layers panel, select on the background layer, make sure it's active, then press Ctrl plus J. Now that's the duplicate layer. Let's name this one as the background copy. Now, the next step we're going to do here is that we're going to create a selection around the subject, this woman. So to do that, from that background copy layer selected, go to the menu bar, go to select, and then choose on subject. Once Photoshop created a selection around the subject, now let's deselect the globe. So we're going to make use of a polygonal lasso tool to deselect that. So going on to the toolbar, go to the third tool, right click on it, and then choose on polygonal lasso tool. Then I'm just going to zoom this one in for us to deselect the globe detailedly. There you go. Then let's press L for the shortcut key of polygonal lasso tool. For the options panel, make sure that this subtract selection is selected. All right. So now that's already active. Once I click it, then let's deselect on these areas. There you go. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. So once we already have the selection around our subject, make sure that the background copy is active, and then press Ctrl plus J to create a layer of the subject. There you go. Now let's name that layer as subject. Now the next step here is now we're going to apply the fire effect. So going on to the other window from the fire, yes, this one. As you have noticed here, it has a black background. We're going to remove that later on. To bring that there, press V and then click and drop it on our original document. There you go. That's why we created a selection around the subject, because this fire layer, I'm going to click and drop it under the subject layer, creating an effect like this. So now we're going to change the blend mode to remove the black background of this fire layer. So make sure that the fire layer is active. Go here, just for the changing of blending mode. Click this one, and then let's set this one to screen because the background is black. There you go. Now let's just adjust the position and the scale of this fire effect. So with that fire layer selected, press Ctrl plus T for the transformation command, and then let's resize it. Now this seems good. Now hit enter. Now the next step here is we're going to remove the fire around the hand. Still selected on that fire layer, let's add a layer mask of it. So going on here at the right bottom corner of your screen with that fire layer selected, I'm going to select on this. This is the add a layer mask, like that. There you go. And then I'm going to click on the layer mask thumbnail of that fire layer, make it active. Then go to the toolbar, get the brush tool, this one, or press B for the shortcut key. Then for the options panel, I'm going to set the opacity into amount of 40%. For the brush, I'm going to use a soft round brush. Okay, now let's go here. For the foreground color, make sure that it's set to black. And then we may now start removing the excess on this part, right? I'm also going to change the hardness of it to around 50%. Okay, something like that. Let's decrease the size of the brush size. And let's decrease the unwanted part of this fire. There you go. All right. Now, the next step here is that we're going to add the deflagration image. So on the other document, yes, this one, this is the deflagration image. So let's move it there. Press V for the move tool and click and drop it on our original document. So this deflagration will be on top of that fire layer. So make sure that you're selected on the deflagration layer, and let's move it here, right? Let's just fix the position and the size of this by pressing Ctrl plus T for the transformation command, and let's decrease the size. Hit enter once you're good. Now, the next step here is we're going to remove that blue and or orange area. So to do that, with that layer active, go to the blending mode, click this one, and because it has a color on it, that's why we're going to set this one to color dodge. There you go. But if you have noticed here that there's still a light background that remains, so to fix that, with that layer selected, go to the adjustment layer icon, click this one, this half filled circle, then go to levels. Before I do the adjustments, I'm going to select on the create clipping mask, this icon over here. Just click this one. There you go. And we may now start adjusting the shadows, right? Removing that light background of that deflagration layer. See? Okay, there you go. All right, now the next step here is that we're going to remove this fire over here. So still selected on that deflagration layer. Let's go and add a mask. Press B for the brush tool. Make sure the foreground color is set to black. No need for us to change the options because it's already set. And then let's remove this area. Now the next step we're going to do here is we're going to darken the background. So to do that, select it on the top layer. Yes, this one, the subject layer. I'm going to the adjustment layer icon down here. Yes, this half-filled circle. Click that. And then choose on exposure. So going on to the properties, under the exposure, I'm going to decrease the amount from the darkness that I want. Right, so I'm going to set this one to negative 3.11. Yes, this seems fine to me. And then I'm going to click on the layer mask thumbnail of that exposure layer. Let's get the brush once again. Press B for the shortcut key. Then for the options panel, I'm going to set the brush to soft round brush. Okay, so it's no longer, so the hardness is already set to 0%. Okay, now let's just increase the brush size. Okay, for the foreground color, make sure that's set to black, and then we may now start brightening up this area. All right, the fire and our subject. There you go. Now the next step here is that we're going to apply a yellowish color coming from the light of the fire. Right. So to do that, I'm going to click on the subject layer to make it active. Then let's add a mask. Just go here. All right, this one. Click this icon. Add a layer. There you go. Let's name this layer as glow. All right. So from that layer selected, let's go and get the brush tool. Press B for the shortcut key. From the options on top, I'm going to set this one just amount of 20%. Set that to soft brown brush. Then I'm also going to hold Control and then click on the thumbnail of the subject layer to bring the selection of the subject. And then let's get a color sample from the fire with that glow layer active. Press Control. Then let's get an orange color, right? The color of the fire. There you go. And then let's apply the color on the part where we think that the fire glow is affecting our subject. All right. Now let's deselect this one. Press Ctrl plus D. So from that glow layer selected, let's change it to blend mode to make it look natural. So let's go here, click this one, and then set the blending mode to color. There you go. Now the next step here is also we're going to add a glow around the surrounding. So to do that, I'm going to click on the background copy layer, and then again, just what we did, let's add a layer. There you go. And then let's get the brush, and then we may now start brightening up the surroundings, something like that. Let's change to the blending mode, just what we did. Click this one, and then set this one to color. There you are. Perfect. Next step, we're going to darken our image. So to do that, going on to the topmost layer, yes, this exposure layer, go to the adjustment layer icon, then choose on curves. Under the histogram, let's create a point here just by clicking it, and then let's drag this one, creating a darkening our image. Okay, something like this. Another effect here is that we're going to blur the background. So select the background layer copy, go to the menu bar, go to filter, go to blur, and then choose Gaussian blur. So I'm going to add a blur. So I'm going to set this one to 5 pixels, then hit OK. And there you go. Now let me show you the before and after. So this one is the before, and this one is the after. And that is how to add a realistic fire effect in Photoshop.